like everyone to stand up, please. Stand up, stand up, stand up. You don't have to pray, you don't have to sing. Okay, anyone want to sing? What would you like to sing? Okay, off you go. Who's going to start it off? You are? Oh, here they go. Very much. There were some nice harmonies coming in over here. Who's the guy with the harmonies? Very good job. All right. Thank you very much indeed for joining in there. And also thank you very much to all of you for coming today. I think just you being in this room really matters. This room being full of great people really matters. And as you look round now, look round at this place, look round at the people around you. This room is full of people who really matter. So I'm super proud of everybody for coming. It's not an easy thing to come to. It's not an easy thing to confess to your friends. It's like having Ebola. You have to keep it on the down low. But I'm super proud of you for coming. I am here to represent the UK. It's become like a bit of a dodgy Eurovision Song Contest, I realise, this event, hasn't it? Allemagne, nil point. France. And with British people in America, we do kind of strange things. So when I arrived here at this hotel, I was like, right, I'll go out for a walk. That's what we do, we walk. British people use walking as a form of transport. I know, crazy idea for Americans. So I'm walking down the road, and essentially when you walk in America, people think you're drunk or homeless. So I'm walking down the road just to go up to the local village here, and people are staring out of their cars like the drunk, crazy, homeless lady. What is she doing? I need a little sign. So I'm not drunk, I'm not homeless, I'm just walking. This is what we do. My name is Katie Hopkins. I am a straight, white, Christian, conservative, married, surprising. Yeah, you can applaud the married bit, it surprises everybody. It's the second time round. I tell him he's my current husband just to keep him on his toes. You know, you've got to keep things moving. And I have 3 children under the age of 15, unlike my Muslim friends who have 15 children under the age of 3. I'm joking. I don't have Muslim friends. So... And representing the UK can be a tough gig, right? We are getting rapidly outnumbered. By 2035, births to Muslims outnumber births to all others. By 2050, we are outnumbered. And the UK has this curious habit of taking back those who wish to fight against it. So of all the jihadis that went overseas to Syria to fight, 40% of them have returned, and we welcomed them back. Not only did we welcome them back, we gave them homes, we put them at the front of the queue for school places. My British friends can't get school places for their kids, but the children of returning jihadis can have school places for theirs ahead of us in the queue. And you'll have seen now, you've had this as well, I think as well, the brides of ISIS, jihadi brides, wishing to come back to our country too. And I think our message to those women is very clear. You made your bed, go lie in it. We don't want you back. We never want you back in our country. And when you think about it, this whole idea of, I have to move this chair because it's disturbing me. If I go walkabouts, I'm going to fall arse over tit and it won't be pretty. Returning jihadis, when you think about it, is actually a load of tosh, isn't it? Because if you're a jihadi, your job was to go and blow yourself up. So if you're coming back rather like a boomerang, you're not really a returning jihadi, are you? I mean, frankly, you're just a bit shit at your job. And if you're a bit shit at your job, you probably want to end your life, kill yourself, except, oh yeah, you can't because you're not very good at it, are you? So we allow all of these jihadis back into our country, and then we wonder why we have such problems. We wonder why our children are the victims of terrorist attack. And one of the fantastic things about having Dominic here, and the reason we need to hear much more from Poland, is that Poland, because it refuses to accept these people into its country, is the safest place in Europe to be a woman today. Would you like to come up on stage with that? You're welcome to come up whilst I'm talking. It feels kind of like it'd be a good thing. At the last talk I gave in Colorado, you do that, darling. Do it. Make yourself at home. Go crazy. Join in. Good man. Round of applause for the man installing the flag. Thank you very much. The last talk I did in Colorado, I went and hugged the flag as like support when someone was asking a question. I was just like clinging on to your flag, because that's what your flag really means to us, especially coming from a country where we're no longer allowed to fly our flag. Yeah. So in the UK today, the Union flag, we don't see it. It's one of the glorious things about being here in America is your flag is everywhere. It flies on your buildings, it flies on your streets. I ended up in tears at the airport on my way here because you guys call out for your service personnel to board your planes first. You say, I'm service personnel, you can board the plane and thank you for your service. We don't do that where I come from. Where I come from, we're told that we have to take off our uniforms before we leave barracks because you are a victim, you will be a victim of attack. People attack our service personnel in the street. So to see your flag flying is so important. I had a gentleman contact me. He was renting an apartment. He flew the St. George's Cross, the English flag, when it was football season. He was told if he did not take down that St. George's Cross, he would be removed from the apartment building because the St. George's Cross is seen as a racist symbol in my country. This is how far we have fallen. This is how far. We have a specialist hate crime unit in the UK. Sadiq Khan, it is okay to go a little panto. It is okay, give yourself permission. Sadiq Khan spent £2.7 million at a time when we don't have police to stop black kids being stabbed on the street. £2.7 million on a hate crime unit specifically set up to police speech online. Specifically my speech. I'm not the most fond of little Sadiq Khan at the best of times. He is short, and I'm not a fan of short people. He is actually, nipple height, and I find that distressing, and that's when he's in heels. And I'm talking about my mother's nipples, which are considerably... It's good to laugh, people. It is good to laugh. This is the therapy for our souls that we all need. And I think it's the way our side will also win. Because we need a bit of funny in this fight. Because this fight can be long, it can be sad, we can hear dark stories often, and we need a bit of funny in this fight. That is where I go with this, for sure. My crimes, of course, are many, as you can imagine. But I mean, apart from my sense of humour, which is a crime in itself, we appreciate that. I have been arrested for a column in a newspaper where I called migrants cockroaches. I thought that was fair. I stand by every word. They sent the Major Crime and Homicide Command of the Metropolitan Police to come and arrest me, the most serious crime prevention squad in the country. I had to be interviewed under caution by two gentlemen. And they even put me in a police cell And they did that thing you see on TV in the old days where you press record and play at the same time to make the tape recorder work. I didn't know that happened in the modern time. And so they questioned me, and then I was able to read my pre-prepared statement that I had on my column in my national newspaper. And my barrister, when I came out, said it was the first time he'd seen two police officers look more scared than the individual that was brought in for questioning. I offended Scottish people by calling them sweaty jocks. I'm not a big fan of gingers. I was rung in Australia, I was on holiday, I was threatened with repatriation from Australia by Police Scotland for offending all of Scotland. Pretty strong effort on my part. And I was reported to multiple police units for saying that the majority of Pakistani paedophiles targeting our white girls were Pakistani. Turned out to be true. And then I was sued by the mayor of, where's our representatives of Belgium here? Hands up for Belgium. Belgium. Voilà. I was sued by François Shepman. That's her name, isn't it? Nasty little woman. She sued me for speaking in derogatory terms about Molenbeek. Molenbeek is a tiny little bit of Belgium. It's known as the jihadi capital of Europe. She said that I was the one that defamed the jihadi capital of Europe. It's kind of hard to defame a place that's already called the jihadi capital of Europe. Trying to explain that to her just wasn't going in, because she needs the Muslim vote. And that's how this works. These guys need that voting bloc. They need the Muslim votes. They pack an area with Muslims. You've seen this happen. You're watching it happen in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, in Dearborn. You are seeing this happen. They bring them in, they pack them in. They put up mosques to facilitate them. In flows the funding. Suddenly you've got mosques putting funding in and an imam that's in charge of a densely packed population. Now they have political power. People are going to vote according to what the imam tells them to do. They are voting according to religion instead of any policy or political belief. It's why we have the Islam Party in Belgium. Their policies are segregation on buses, halal, and face covering. They even want a couple seats. This is where we're headed. And when they come to mobilize in future time, when this conflict ramps up as it surely will, the mosques are where these people will mobilize from. Do not mistake mosques for churches. Yeah. They are not places of worship. They are places of organization and mobilization. When you had the brilliant man, Modi, thank you. We don't have time for clapping. We've got a war to fight, sir. Hold your hands still. Sit on them. When you had Modi over, please do look up Modi. Love Modi. I want Modi to be my fourth husband or fifth. I don't mind. He has to be one after Trump. When you had Modi over, Howdy Modi in Houston, amazing event. Love it, love it, love it. 50,000 people with your president and the leader of India, who had 384 million patriots vote for him. Guess where they organized the protest movement from? Where did they go and pick up from? Where did 11 buses go to pick up from 11 mosques in Houston? This is where they will mobilize from, and we need to be ready for that. My job right now, as I see it, is to go to the places other people choose not to go, to report the truths not being told. Whether that's no-go Sweden, that's totally fine. Whether that is the jihadi capital of Europe, whether it's the migrant camps of Calais, where I was spat at, had my arms dislocated, whether it is the homeless problem that you have on Skid Row, now spreading out Santa Monica, where I was yesterday and the day before, Venice Beach, is to go and show the problems that other people don't want to talk about because they're not convenient. I think one of the ways we win is by showing just how bad it is. Because every time they tell you, there's no-go zones, they don't exist. Come with me, see this, try and get off a bus in Rinkeby, one suburb out from the centre of Sweden. No white people whatsoever, no women whatsoever. A migrant lady said to me, no, wrong face, wrong hair, wrong place. She was trying to save me. She was trying to stop me getting off the bus because in Rinkeby, you can't be a white woman and walk on those streets. Now, I've been told my time's nearly up, which obviously is a travesty. You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. I am known as the biggest bitch in Britain, and Sunshine, you don't want to mess with me. You can stick your 5 minutes where the sun don't shine. No, I know there's important people that need to talk. I will hurry. But I would say that right now the excitement is, and there is excitement, I tell you. There is excitement because, what day is it today, the 5th? Yes. There are only, therefore, 25 days until the United Kingdom leaves the European Union. It is going to happen. Finally. Oh, it's been long. 23rd of June, 2016, we voted to leave. The best night of my life, and I've been married twice. And finally, we're going to be out. Finally, we have Boris Johnson, a real man in power, channeling Winston Churchill. He is our Trump, and he has equally bad hair. It's perfect. It's meant to be. Destiny wrote this thing. There's only 2 men on the planet with worse hair, and it's the 2 of them. Do not do that sign thing I've told you once already. Who the hell do you think you are? Do you know how far I've come? 12 hours in economy, and you're wiggling a sign at me.
I know that they are in contact. They are in contact.
And obviously they're trying the same tricks with Boris that they do with Trump. A lady came out. I say lady, you know, cheap hooker. She said 20 years ago, Boris Johnson grabbed my upper thigh. I tell you, if Boris Johnson grabbed my upper thigh 20 years ago, I would still not have washed today. So, you know, I celebrate. I am proud of the 17.4 million British people who voted to leave the EU and break free from the bureaucracy, from the inundated, blooming overrunning that we're having with migrants in our country. Those good people and the tenacity they have to have delivered Brexit and make it happen in 25 days, I guarantee you it's going to happen. So proud. I'm so proud of you and 64 million Americans who I've promised to kiss, every single one of you who voted for Trump. I love you all. I thank you all. You really, really matter. All I ask from you is when you go and vote in 2020, just take one friend. That's all I ask for you. I'll give everything I have, my heart, my soul, my life. Just take one friend to the ballot box with you. And you know, the last thing I want to say before I go is that we will prevail. We will resist. And together we resist the narrative. We know our truths. We get furious and we fight back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed.